Good morning and welcome to another edition of Monday Morning Messages with yours truly. I want to jump right into what it is that we need to get, on our radars for today. We're going to meet with PST, that's our problem-solving team, and what we want to discuss basically is academics, attendance, and behavior of your students. So what's imperative is that you've already done your homework and reaching out and speaking with parents. Also documenting that you've tried various strategies in an effort to try to make sure that you're doing your due diligence. I know we're only 2 full weeks in, but right now, especially in all of our core classes, we should have already conducted a baseline assessment. And if you have not conducted a baseline assessment at this point, then you need to get with your department chair to be able to administer this baseline assessment as quickly as possible, because that's obviously how you're going to benchmark incrementally to determine whether or not your students are really getting what it is that you're disseminating to them every day. So if you have not done so already, begin a call log, start tracking what you're doing in an effort to meet the needs of each individual student that you have. And in fact, if you see a student that is already, as you can determine, academically really not on top of what it is that you're doing, or of course, if there are attendance issues or behavior issues, certainly begin forwarding that information to Ms. DeArmond, Ms. Gallimore, or Mr. Lane, so they can begin to collect and track that data so we can, again, be able to address those deficiencies in respect to the students that you're serving and that we're serving as well. Also, to that end, if you are a core teacher, meaning that you teach in our English, social studies, math, and science, then I am going to ask that you email me a copy of your baseline assessment so we can look at that assessment and make sure that it aligns, in fact, not only to the College of Career Net Readiness standards, but also that it aligns to our ACT assessments as well. Certainly Global Scholar is something that we're going to in fact, assess every student through the assessment series and performance series so we can look and determine where they are in next month, and then, of course, track that growth throughout the school year. We'll be testing 3 times also early next month, and we're going to get these dates to you fairly quickly. We're going to be also assessing our ACT mock assessments, where every student in grades 9, 10, and 11 will, in fact, take this assessment in their homeroom. But we'll talk more about that when we meet as a prep staff on tomorrow. And again, tomorrow, all faculty will meet during your planning period in room 209. So certainly mark your calendars for that. We certainly want to make sure that we are able to cover everything that we need to cover in terms of where you are and where you need to be. Also, Educate Alabama is a big part of what we want to do in an effort to make sure that you are moving forward and selecting your indicators, in addition to beginning to know what evidence that you need to collect so you can submit that and upload it in Educate Alabama. Also, I have been added to let me back up. I have been able to create my own account for this upcoming year. And so what we would do is we would ask that you enter my name as your primary evaluator. And so you need to go into Educate Alabama, and then, of course, up by your information, you would edit, and then, of course, select as the pull-down menu allows. And you should see my name and click on my name as your primary evaluator, because we want to make sure that as we're moving through the process that I can see you when I pull up Pinson Valley High School. So that's critically important. Also, lesson plans. We're going to ask that you have your lesson plans not only sent to me electronically, but we're also going to ask that you have your lesson plans outside your door. We're going to start on today, looking at modules and lesson plans and connecting those modules and lesson plans to what you have going on in your classroom. You should begin to see more of administration in your classrooms, looking this week in terms of collecting those anecdotal notes, and of course looking at student behavior, teacher behavior, artifacts, and student engagement. And needless to say, we want to have some dialogue and some discourse as we meet departmentally, horizontally, in looking at what we want to be able to see in these classrooms. Of course, LDC training is critically important, MDC training as well. And what we'll do is we'll create an opportunity so we can meet and have these conversations that are very important in this strategic planning, so we can look back and see, in fact, what we put in place is in fact working. Also on Wednesday, and I know I'm throwing a lot of dates out here, or should I say a lot of times and dates out here, but on Wednesday, Ms. Mason would like to meet with each and every one of you during your planning period in respect to our ESL training. We know we have a high population of ESLs, and by law, we are mandated to make sure that you understand how we best meet their needs, in addition to documenting as to how we're meeting our needs, much like what we would do with an IEP. So having said that, continue the course. Keep the main thing in your class. Make sure that you're having your learning targets and your expectations certainly visible, and communicate those learning targets. It always helps when we are able to go to a classroom at the very beginning and see bell ringers on the boards, and students know that they're engaged. The second that they walk in your classroom, they know what the expectations are, versus you trying to take roll and fumbling around and then they're sitting there idle. That's when, my friends, issues occur. Unfortunately, as I made mention in our ninth grade meeting, that for whatever reasons, our ninth grade students are the ones who need the most focus and attention. Not to say our 10th, 11th, and 12th grade are diminished in terms of your attention, but our ninth graders need it the most. And we're looking and tracking discipline right now. And let me go on and tell you, our ninth graders are leading the chart. So obviously we need to, in our ninth grade classes, do a better job of really towing the line and having them to toe the line and letting them know where our expectations are, where the bar needs to be set, and how we're going to meet those expectations. We will be talking more about that during prep staff on tomorrow, but I just wanted to heighten your attention and let you know that this is what is going on in our building, and we need to do a better job of making sure that we certainly hold students accountable to the code of conduct, and do not allow students to get away with things that you know that they shouldn't. I will not belabor that point, but I will move on, should I say, and wish you a blessed day, productive day. And certainly, as always, if there are any things that need to be discussed privately with administration, please do not hesitate to reach out, and we will certainly accommodate in a time that's amenable. That being said, here at Pennsylvania High School, as you already know, we are going to continue to promote achievement, respect, and success. God bless you.